Hello. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat again today. I'm so happy to have you here, and I'm so excited to share this practice with you because I think you're really going to like it. Today, we're really going to be thinking about core strength. Excuse me. Now, I know we hear the phrase core strength quite a lot, especially when it comes to any kind of workout or exercise program. But I think people kind of get the wrong idea. I think when we hear core strength, we think about six-pack abs. And that's not necessarily what we're going to be gunning for today. So we really have to remember that your core is more than just that topmost, that superficial layer of abdominal muscles, which is where we get those nice six packs. We actually have multiple layers of abdominal muscles that even go front to back as well as left to right. And then we also really want to think about the strength of our back and the strength of those muscles that surround and support our spine as well. So we're going to really engage all of that, our true core, our true center, which actually is going to end up being most of the muscles in our hips and in our torso, because those are the muscles that are going to help us stabilize and strengthen. Those are our powerhouse muscles, our thighs, our glutes, our abdominals, our spinal muscles. All of those things are really what we're going to be considering today in our core strengthening yoga exercises. So don't get freaked out. Don't think that we're going to spend our entire practice doing crunches or doing planks. You will see just a little bit of crunches and or planks. But it's not the only means for us to get there and to really tap into that core strength. We're not going to be doing anything crazy. We are going to be taking some more simple movements and postures, but we're going to be really focusing on our alignment and on using our mental capacity to help us dive into that muscular function just a little bit deeper. Before we get rolling, we're going to start up sitting up nice and tall in an easy seat. That can be with legs crossed or legs long, whatever feels good for you. We're going to place one hand on our belly, one hand on our heart, and we're going to take 5 deep breaths just to get really grounded and centered and present in our body. You can close your eyes if you like, taking a big breath in, letting belly press into palm, letting sternum lift up into palm, and then exhale gently, sternum lowers, belly button draws in and up. Good, 4 more of those. Last one. Good. Sweep your arms overhead. Find a big inhale. Exhale, bring palms to touch and hands to your heart. Take a big breath in through your nose and release it out your mouth like a sigh. Good. Now we're going to stretch those legs out long in front of us. Flex our feet nice and strong. Find your sits bones, or those 2 little bones in your cheeks, one on each side. You might have to move some flesh or move yourself out of the way to really get to them. And then just gently, we're going to tip our weight forward and tip our weight back, almost like a seesaw or like a swing. Make sure we really find those sits bones, and when we found them, find what your middle balance is. So we're not tipped too far forward, we're not leaning too far back onto our tailbone. We're stacked nice and tall on those sits bones. Good. We're going to draw up with our belly button. So even just in this posture right here, think about flexing your feet. Notice how that stretches calves, engages quads, starts to fire up our glutes. Once we find that posture, that alignment of shoulders over hips, notice how our belly button just has to lift up just a little bit, and those low abdominals have to engage to help support and help keep us seated upright. When we think about lengthening ears to the ceiling, notice how our back strengthens and grows tall. Good. So it doesn't look like we're doing much, but once we really get into the mechanics of it, we really start to find intention in our body. You start to see that there's a lot going on right here. And even seating just like this, engaged in those quadriceps, engaged in your pelvic floor and in your low and upper spine, starts to get a little strong and a little heated after a while, and that's okay. We're going to take one big breath right here, expanding wide in our ribs. Exhale, sit up a little taller. Good. Our next inhale, reaches arms overhead. And exhale, twist over that right shoulder. Beautiful. Now we want to make sure our twist is happening from our low ribs or from our belly button line. We're rotating, not just from our shoulders, but all the way down that torso. We want to keep our low body right where it is. So notice this left heel. If when we twisted, did that heel and that hip draw forward? And if it did, pull yourself back, find those sits bones. And we'll try again, see if we can keep low body super glued where it is. And then once that all feels steady and stable, maybe our chin rotates over that back shoulder. Give a big inhale. And exhale, unwind. Good. Inhale, reach it tall. And exhale, twist to the left. It's the same thing. Notice if this right heel tries to come with, or even if that right hip tries to come with as we twist. If it does, come on back to center. Engage from toes to ribs. And try again. And if we have to try a couple times, that's totally fine. You're sitting at home, you're in your own private practice and private space. You can do whatever you need to make sure we're getting into these shapes mindfully and getting the most out of these shapes, right? Because it would be really easy just to fake it and not really get anything out of it. But why would we want to waste our time like that, you know? Give yourself one more breath right here, widen your ribs. And then exhale, unwind. Good. Inhale nice and tall. And then exhale, we're going to keep that flat back as long as we can and hinge forward. And maybe our fingertips will tap our toenails. Maybe they'll tap our shins or our knees. But we want to really think about tailbone pointing to the back edge of the mat. Our spine staying nice and long. Our heart staying proud. And our ears staying in line with our shoulders, but not touching our shoulders. We've got a lot of space there, okay? So this is a deep stretch, even without it feeling like maybe we're taking our deepest expansion of it. We're still getting a lot of work done within the structure and framework of that strong back. Draw shoulder blades down. And then gently tilt your nose towards that space between your calves. We're going to take a big inhale, spread your ribs wide. And exhale, see if you can inchworm fingertips 1 millimeter forward. We'll take that 3 more times. Inhale, expand your ribs. Exhale, just 1 millimeter forward. 2 more. Last one. Good. Slow motion. We'll walk our palms back up to our seat. Beautiful. We're going to bring soles of the feet to the mat, and we're going to set up for a variation of a boat pose or a modified boat pose. So feet are on the floor, knees point to the ceiling, hands are going to come behind our thighs. We're going to sit up as tall as we can. Good. Now keeping that same flat spine we just had in our forward fold, we're going to tip backwards till we find our tailbone. Good. And you'll notice as you tip back, if that spine's nice and long, your pubic bone's going to draw forward, and that's going to automatically engage that pelvic floor and engage your low belly. You might, even if your knees start to feel those quads fire up just a little bit, and your calves even might begin to engage to help stabilize. We're just going to hold it right here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Come on back up on top of those sits bones. Take a big inhale. Exhale, tip it back towards our Navasana. If your belly's strong and you're feeling really good right here, maybe fingertips stretch straight ahead. Good. So feet stay firmly planted on the mat. Use them to help keep you steady. But that heart's going to lift even higher to the ceiling. We're going to hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Draw back up. Release for one breath. Big inhale. Exhale. Tip it back. Good. If those palms are reaching forward and that feels good, maybe we bring hands together and make a Charlie's Angels gun pointing straight ahead, our Vira Mudra. Thumbs in line with your nose, shoulder blades drop down, belly button draws up. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring it back up. Palms are going to come behind us. And take some windshield wiper twists, just right and left, releasing those hips. And give it one more round. Good. Feet are going to come back to center. You might even walk them in a little tighter. So we get our whole foot on the ground. We've got our whole palms on the ground behind us. Fingers and toes spread nice and wide. We're going to find a reverse tabletop. So we're going to press into our palms, lift our heart nice and high. Chin stays tucked to your chest, and on your inhale, press into your feet and lift your belly button high to the sky. Good. So we're aiming for that perfect square. Knees over ankles, shoulders over wrists still. Straight line between knees and shoulders. Chin can stay tucked or it can point to the ceiling. We're going to hold 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to lower our tush. And we're going to take just this reverse tabletop action on our breath. So again, fingers and toes nice and wide. Use your inhale to press into the earth to lift our belly. And exhale lets us lower. Good. A couple more on our own. Inhale, press it up. Exhale, release. Keep that going. If you want a little upgrade, don't let your tush touch the mat again. Stay at a hover. So we lower down to 1 inch off the earth, and then we bring it right back up. Give it 2 more. Good. Come all the way down. We're going to let knees drop wide to the side, soles of the feet come together. Hands can come to your knees or your shins, and we're going to take some cat-cows right here. So on our inhale, we'll lift our heart, drop our shoulders, lift our chin. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, pelvis rounds forward, look back at your belly button. And take a couple more of those. Give it one more. Good. We're going to come back up to a strong, tall seat. Feet are going to come back to the mat. We're going to come back to that boat pose variation. So if one of the three things we've already done felt really good to you, you can stay right where you are. But we'll start with hands behind thighs. Start with heart nice and proud. Tip back to that tailbone like a kickstand. You can hang out here, or you can stretch your arms long. This time, if we want a little bonus challenge, we are going to lift our knees so shins come parallel between the mat and the ceiling. If this lifted knees is a little much and we want to bring hands back to our thighs, if that's going to help us keep our heart nice and proud, hang out just like that. That is perfect. What this is doing is taking some of that power out of our abdominals and bringing it into our biceps. But believe me, that core is still getting plenty of work. We're going to hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your toes. Take a breath. Big breath in. Exhale, tip back to your tailbone. Long neck. When you feel good, knees engage. We're feeling a little braver this round, a little more warmed up. Fingertips stretch forward. We're going to hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower those toes. Good. We're going to stretch out legs nice and long and take some windshield wipers from our hips with our ankles, right and left. Maybe circle knees and toes in reverse. Good. Palms are going to come back behind us. This time we're going to set up for a reverse plank. Now if you felt great at that reverse tabletop, feel free to do that again. But again, if we want a little more challenge, we're going to find this reverse plank. Fingertips wide. Press into your palms, lengthen through your forearms and lift your heart. Think about pressing the ball of your foot away from you like a Barbie toe. And then on your inhale, press into your heels to lift your belly. Good. Think about that long line like a slide from shoulders to toes. We're going to hold 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Now you might have guessed, but we're going to take this reverse plank on our breath. So our next inhale is going to lift our tush. Exhale lets us lower. Good. Take that over on your own. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. You have that bonus challenge option. If we want a little more fire, don't let your tush touch the mat. Keep it 1 inch up. Good. We're going to give it 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Roll off with those fingertips. Shake them out. Good, good, good. Now legs are going to stay nice and long in front of us. Hands are going to come beside and then just a little bit behind and a little wider than shoulders. And we're going to have a tented fingertip or a cupcake hand. Find those sit bones, draw up with your belly button. And just gently, gently, we're going to lift right heel up off the earth. Good. Let it lower. Lift left heel. Let it lower. If you find you need a little more support, take those fingertips even further back. This time lift right heel and hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Left heel and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Good. Now that's another one of those actions that does not look like we're doing much, but you feel it real quick. We're going to start to move on our breath, alternating right and left. So we're going to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good. Right and left. Keep it going. 2 more each side. Last set. Good. We're going to add on a little bit. We're going to lift that right heel, cross it over, open it wide, back to center, down. Good. Left heel lift, cross, wide, center, down. Again, right, cross, wide, center, down, left, cross, wide, center, down. Beautiful. Shake out your fingertips, shake out your toes. We're going to come all the way down to our spines, but we're going to take some time to get there. So bend your knees, feet on the mat, fingertips forward just like we did in boat. We're going to take a 10 count to roll down to our backs. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. We're going to bring it back. We're going to draw both knees into our chest. Give yourself a big squeeze and let shoulders, chest, and chin pull up off the mat. You're making a little egg. Keep your right leg nice and tight. Extend your left leg long. Don't let that left heel touch the mat. Keep it lifted. Draw knees and nose up. Big inhale. Exhale to switch. 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 Good. Lower chest and chin. Send all 10 toes to the ceiling. Gorgeous. We're going to send fingertips up to meet our toes. Flex those feet back to your fingertips. We're going to lift chest and chin up off the earth. Keep your chin pointing to the ceiling and take little pulses, trying to tap those toes. Ten more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Lower shoulders, stretch arms overhead. Feet are going to stay flexed, but they're going to open wide like a straddle. We're going to send our fingertips through the center, lift chest and chin, and take those pulses. Ready? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Lower it down, stretch it back. Heels are going to stay nice and wide. We're going to take one last round. We're going to bring hands through if we want a little more. Interlace fingers, take that Vira Mudra or Charlie's Angels gun. Stretch through your heels, push imaginary walls away. Heart's lifted and we'll pulse. Ten more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Long stretch. Toes to the ceiling. Beautiful. We're going to bring arms wide to the side like a T, palms to the earth. Again, take that little Barbie toe, and we're just going to crisscross right and left. Engage inner and outer thighs. Think about pressing your belly button down to the earth. And give it 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Heels together. We're going to bend at the knees. Keep knees over hips, shins parallel to the earth. We're going to work on those transverse abdominis, or our obliques, sorry. Our side body, transverse abdominis will get some love in there too, I promise. We're gonna find a big inhale and we're gonna start to let knees drop to the right. Good, inhale takes it back to center. Exhale, drop to the left. Keep that going, slow and controlled. Inhale moves through your midline. Exhale to rotate. Inhale to lift. Exhale to reverse. Beautiful. Now, if yours doesn't come all the way to the mat, that's okay. In fact, it can be a little harder, a little more challenging to stop at that halfway point or to stop at 75%. We're going to take it 2 more each way. Last set. Good. Come on back to the middle. Give yourself another squeeze. Lift head and neck up off the mat. And then we'll lower feet down. We're going to flip right over to our bellies. Beautiful. So resting on our belly. We're going to bring palms on either side of our low ribs, elbows hug in tight to center. We're going to take a cobra pose, so fingers spread wide, press into your whole hand. So we start to draw shoulders over wrists. Now this is probably going to feel like a pretty good stretch in that belly after all that work we've done. Take a big breath in, lift your heart a little higher, and exhale, elbows point straight back as we lower down. We're going to find that cobra on our breath, so inhale is going to push us up. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Now I know it feels like shoulders and arms are doing a lot of this work, but if we think about pressing into our toenails, pressing into the tops of our feet, that's going to help engage our quads, fire up the glutes, and let your low spine take on some of this action for 3 more rounds. One more. Good. We're going to press into that cobra and then back to a tabletop. Palms under palms under shoulders. Feet under knees, and we'll take some cat-cows here as well. Inhale, let's belly drop, tail lift, heart pull forward. Exhale, round your spine, scoop it under, look back at your belly button. Take a few more of those. So even these cat-cows, again, seemingly simple beginner posture, they can have a lot of heat and a lot of action to them if we allow them to. So really think about exaggerating your movement. Think about that pelvic floor and your abs engaging as we curl spine to the ceiling like you were doing a crunch. Think about letting your sits bones spread wide when we come into that cow pose, when tailbones lift. Give it 2 more. And look them right back to center. We're going to take a little hover right here. So we're going to tuck our toes. Lift your knees 2 inches off the mat for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it drop. Good. We're going to take 1 more round of that hover. We're going to add a little bit of a swivel to engage the side body again. From here, we'll tuck our toes, lift our hips, try to keep shoulders strong, rotate knees to one side, center, opposite side, center. Good. So heels are swiveling. Take a big inhale, exhale to twist, inhale through the middle, exhale to twist. Keep that going on your own. One more each way. Good. Back to center and lower down. Gorgeous. Now, like we're wagging our tail, we're going to try and draw shoulder and glute together on one side and then to the other. So like we were doing side body crunches or oblique crunches, right and left. Or like we were making a C shape or a banana shape. One more each way. And we'll come back to center. All right, now I know you didn't think we were going to get through a whole class about core strength without a plank in it. It is going to be the last thing we do though, so don't worry. We're going to try to hold, we'll do 3 rounds. Trying to hold for 3 breaths, for 5 breaths, and then for 10 breaths. And then we'll be done. Won't that feel good? So we're going to come forward. If we start at our tabletop, walk our palms about a handprint forward, hinge shoulders over wrists. You can either hang out right here, knees on the mat, straight line from shoulders to knees, or we can tuck our toes and lift up into that full plank. We're going to take a big inhale, exhale, 2 more. Last one. Good. Drop your knees, sit back on your heels, shake out those hands. I know we've done a lot on our wrists today. Remember, we've got 2 more rounds and I know you've got it in you. Draw forward, shoulders over palms, straight line either from knee creases or heels. We're going to hold it for 5 breaths. Two more. Last one. Good. Knees drop. Sit back. Shake it out. All right. I know you're ready. It's our very last round. Then we'll finish out class in a child's pose. Drawing forward. Find that long line. Pubic bone tucks under. Belly is strong. Pull ribs away from the mat. Keep your nose pointed to the earth and take 10 breaths. It's all right if you're trimmering. It's all right if those knees need to lower halfway through. We've got 4 more breaths. 2 more. Last one. Good. We're going to move towards a child's pose. Knees wide, toes together, hips to your heels. Everything softens into the earth. You might flip your palms to the sky or even walk your hands back towards your feet so we make a little egg shape. You can rest on an ear or on your forehead. And again, we're going to give ourselves 5 more breaths right here. One more. Good. Slowly we'll come on back up. Find a seat. Arms are going to stretch out wide to the side. Give them a shake. And overhead, give them a shake. And straight ahead, give them a shake. Good. Same thing. Feet forward. Rumble out those legs like thunder. And take some windshield wipers. And some circles. We're going to find 1 more round of twists. So sitting tall, legs long, feet flexed. Inhale to reach. Exhale, twist to the right. So notice how these twists feel after all of our work. Notice if that left foot wants to follow. See if we can draw left hip and left heel back. Notice where your heart rate's at. And see if you can find that breath. Widen your ribs. Exhale, sits a little taller. 2 more breaths. And we'll unwind. Inhale, tall. Exhale, reverse. If it feels good, chin can start to rotate all the way over back shoulder to the back of the room. Two more breaths. And we'll unwind. Last time we'll inhale tall. Exhale, palms to touch, thumbs to heart center. Big breath in through your nose. Out your mouth like a sigh. Thank you so, so much for joining me for these seemingly simple yoga postures to help strengthen our core, our front body, our back body, as well as hips and legs. I hope that you're feeling good and strong, and I cannot wait to hear what you think about this video, so you can either shoot me a message or write what you're feeling down in the comments. I can't wait to practice with you again. Divine light in me loves and honors the divine light in you. Namaste.